Imagine walking into your kitchen, reaching for the toaster you bought last year and seeing a small digital screen blinking, subscription expired. To brown your sourdough, you must now pay $4 a month. It sounds like a tech noir fever dream, but in the boardroom of a major German automaker, this wasn't a nightmare. It was a quarterly earnings goal, specifically the goal to charge you for heat. In 2022, BMW decided that the heating coils already physically installed in your seats, hardware you paid for at the dealership, should be locked behind an $18 a month paywall. Software locked warmth in a winter you already bought. This is hardware as a service. It's the corporate realization that selling you a product once is a failure. To Wall Street, a one-time customer is just a ghost who hasn't realized they're dead yet. They want recurring revenue. They want your bank account to have a permanent parasitic attachment to their server. And today, we're going to look at the escape hatch before your fridge starts charging for ice. BMW eventually backed down on the seats, but only because the PR was a dumpster fire. The infrastructure is still there. Your car is no longer a machine. It's a rolling vending machine. It's not just cars. Look at HP. They pioneered the instant ink program, where your printer sends a signal to HQ the moment you print a grocery list. If your sub lapses, the printer stops, even if the cartridges are full. They've essentially turned your home office into a hostage situation. You own the plastic, the glass, and the wiring, but HP owns the permission to let the electricity do its job. Then there's Peloton. You spend $2,000 on a heavy steel bike only to find it becomes a very expensive clothes rack the moment you stop paying the $44 monthly membership fee. By the way, I built a directory of 200 plus one-time purchase alternatives to the subscriptions bleeding you dry. It's called the Owned Life Directory, link below, and it costs less than 1 month of your streaming stack. The logic is simple. If they can't innovate, they tax. If they can't make a better treadmill, they make the one you already have useless unless you keep feeding the meter. It's digital feudalism. We are moving from an era of buying to an era of permission. You don't own that smart home hub. You're just leasing the right to turn your lights on from a server in Virginia. When the company goes bankrupt or decides your model is legacy, they brick it. They turn your $100 smart lock into a paperweight with a single line of code. No refund, no apology. Now let's pivot to the hydra in the room, the streaming stack. 10 years ago, we cut the cord to save money. We were young, naive, and didn't realize we were just changing masters. First, it was Netflix, then Hulu, then Disney Plus, Max, Paramount Plus, Discovery Plus, and Apple TV. It's like a digital game of whack-a-mole, but every time you hit one, $10 disappears from your wallet. We are now paying more for the freedom of streaming than we ever did for the tyranny of cable. And the best part? They're adding ads back in. We've come full circle. The content isn't even yours. Shows disappear overnight because of licensing or tax write-offs. You are paying for a library card where the librarian can set your favorite book on fire while you're reading it. It's a psychological trick called microtransaction fatigue. They know you won't notice $15, but $15 times 6 services is $1,000 a year. That's a vacation, or a lot of actual physical Blu-rays. But there is a way out, a way to reclaim your digital sovereignty and stop being a line item on a corporate balance sheet. It requires a bit of old school thinking. Step 1. The rotating method. You don't need 6 services, you need 1. Watch what you want, cancel it, and move to the next. It's like dating, but with less heartbreak and more dragons. Step 2, the OTA antenna. Most people forget that high-definition television is literally floating through the air for free. A $20 antenna gets you local news, sports, and major networks forever. Step 3. The media server. This is the final boss of ownership. Using software like Jellyfin or Plex, you can build your own private Netflix using movies you actually own on disk. When you own the file, no CEO can delete it. No licensing agreement can pull it from your shelf. It is yours. In a world of digital ghosts, a hard drive is a solid stone wall. Then there's the library. Apps like Libby and Canopy give you free access to ebooks, audiobooks, and films just for having a library card. Your tax is already paid for this. Use it. But back to the hardware. How do we fight the BMW-ification of our physical objects? We vote with our wallets and support the right to repair. If you can't open it, you don't own it. Before you buy a smart appliance, ask yourself, does this need to be connected to the internet to toast bread? If the answer is no, buy the dumb version. The dumb version doesn't have a terms of service. The dumb version won't brick itself when a startup in San Francisco runs out of venture capital. It will just keep being a toaster, which surprisingly is all we ever wanted from it. We've been conditioned to think that connected means better. In reality, connected often just means monetized. Your data is the product and your subscription is the rent. Imagine a world where you buy a car and it's just your car. You buy a printer and it's just your printer. It sounds revolutionary because we've been boiled like frogs for 20 years. By the way, I built a directory of 200 and plus one-time purchase alternatives to the subscriptions bleeding you dry. It's called the Owned Life Directory. Link below, and it costs less than 1 month of your streaming stack. A blueprint of a sturdy anchor made of solid physical media disks. When the internet goes out, the person with the Plex server is still watching The Office. When the subscription service hikes its price by 30%, the person with the Blu-ray collection just shrugs. Ownership is a form of protest. It tells the giants that you are not a user to be harvested, but a customer who expects value in exchange for currency. A radical concept, I know. We are currently in the everything as a service bubble. And like all bubbles, it will eventually burst when consumers reach their breaking point. That point usually involves heated seats. The companies will tell you that subscriptions allow them to constantly improve the product. But usually, those improvements are just new ways to track you or move the buttons around. They want us to forget how to be self-sufficient. They want us to forget that once upon a time, you could fix your own car with a socket set and a bit of patience. Today, fixing your car requires a software license and a proprietary diagnostic tool that only the dealer owns. They've turned the hood into a no trespassing sign. So, what's the first step? Audit your bank statement. Look for the small recurring bites. The vampire charges that you forgot about 3 years ago when you wanted to watch one documentary. Kill the vampires. Reclaim that $50 or $100 a month. That money belongs to your future, not to a server farm in Oregon. Buy something physical with it, something that won't ask for a password. We are the finance explorers, and we prefer our hardware dumb and our ownership total. It's time to stop renting your life and start owning it again. Check out the Owned Life Directory at the link below to find the best tools for the job, because the only thing that should be recurring in your life is your own peace of mind. Next time you sit in a car and it offers to warm your backside for a fee, remember, you're not a customer, you're a subscriber, and it's time to unsubscribe.